Okay, I'm back. I don't know why that last one stopped, but I'll go back to C and just finish it off, and then we'll carry on. So, all right, back where we were here, sort of. Okay, C looked a little bit like this. We had y equals 2x squared plus 6x minus 9. We let it equal 0. Again, recognize what our a, b, and c value is. A in front of x squared, b in front of x, c is the constant. Plug into the quadratic formula. And again, when you get down to the nitty-gritty and you actually plug it in, you will find that your two x values are 1.1 and negative 4.1. And what this tells us is this does in fact have two zeros as well. Okay, so this had zeros of 1.1 and 0 and negative 4.1 and 0. Does it matter that they're not integers? Of course not. That's totally fine. They don't have to be integers. Again, not everything's going to be factorable. So I guess the issue sort of comes up and you're saying, well, I don't understand why we're doing this lesson. We've already learned this stuff. Of course we have, but you need to be able to factor really well and really easily. Because when we get into the cubic and the quartic and the quintic and polynomials of degree 6 and greater, you need to know how to factor quadratics and how to use synthetic division, and you have to be able to do it without putting much thought into it. So if we move on from this and look at D, D is set up in a factorable way. D says I have this function, y equals, there's a coefficient out front 2, and then it's actually in what we would consider the factored form of a cubic. Okay, so we know it's a cubic because there are in fact 3 different terms that contain an x. So again, if you use the zero product property, it's saying if you multiply a times b times c together and you get an answer of 0, one of those had to be 0. So we're saying either x minus 4 was 0, or x plus 2 was 0, or x plus 5 was 0. Okay, and in a way it's saying all of them are. So that would mean x equals 4, x equals negative 2, x equals negative 5. So in terms of what are the zeros, well, obviously the y value for each of these would have to become a 0 here in order for us to solve like this. So we know the y value is always 0. These are the 3 x values we got. So we would have zeros of 4, 0, negative 2, 0, and negative 5, 0. If it's in factored form, it's very, very easy. Come tomorrow, not going to be in factored form anymore. Okay, so the very last one gives us a situation that we'll start to scratch our heads, and we really have to do what the assignment is in order to solve this next one. So the next one says y equals 3x cubed. The first time we've seen a true cubic, plus 4x squared minus 6x minus 9. Okay, true cubic, how do we factor it? I don't know. We need to find that out in part 2. Right now, this is a big question mark for us. How are we going to factor things of degree greater than 2? Linear things we already know how to do. Quadratics, we don't quite know how to do yet. Quadratics we do know how to do. Cubic and above, we don't know how to do yet. Okay, now in terms of what the expectations are for you over the next, I would say 9 school days. April 3rd was supposed to be a PA day anyway, so we don't really need to worry about that. We have shrunk the curriculum down quite a bit in the next 2 weeks. So our expectation is you will learn 3 lessons on your own. You can email me. There should be some chat things on D2L that we can try to figure out if you have homework questions. But we're going to attempt those 3 lessons and then the review material, and then we're going to provide an assignment for you. Mr. Todd and I have talked, and instead of a test for chapter 3, we're going to try an assignment. Now for tonight, you should see something that looks like this in the package on D2L that already existed. So this here is called Exploration, Investigating Factors of Polynomial Functions. You have to do this. If you don't do this, you're gonna have no idea what I'm talking about in the next video. So I would suggest watching this video to just remind yourself about factoring, and then going through each of the steps of this. And then from there, we'll be able to teach the next lesson much more easily. Okay, so I'm gonna put this online and hopefully we can get started. Okay, obviously not optimal, guys, but we'll do the best we can. All right, see you next.